I'm Olivia Bailey, and this is your sports interview on Emory and Henry Reports. And today with us, we have Seb Marley, an international soccer player for Emory and Henry, with us on the set today. Thank you, Seb.
No worries.
Okay, so you grew up in England. Can you kind of explain the town that you came from and kind of what the cultural aspects of that were?
Well, the city I'm from, it's called Worcester. There's about 100,000 people in the city, so it's a bit of a change coming to Emory. I don't know, everything's kind of more close together. You know, you can walk, catch the bus to various things, and you know, it's a whole different culture. But I mean, I liked it.
Okay, so in that culture, like, what are some of the things that you guys participate in compared to like here in America?
Well, just like being a kid over there, growing up, like you just hang out with all your friends. Like you play football, play soccer in the street, and you know, you just hang out with everyone. And I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, pretty much.
Okay, and you mentioned football and soccer.
Yeah.
What are some of those differences that you've seen internationally in England and over here in America playing college soccer?
Oh, the game back home is completely different to over here. Back home it's a lot more physical. Like me and James and Kennick, like the three English lads on the team, we all wear ankle guards, but none of the American guys do, because like we're used to getting kicked in the ankles, and just because it's a lot more physical and a lot more fast paced back home. And the refs tend to let a lot more things slide, which kind of affects our play, because you're going for a tackle here, and the ref usually gives a free kick.
And you talk about James and Kenrick both coming back from England. Did you guys know each other before you came here?
No, Kenrick's from a city called Birmingham, which is like 35-40 minutes away from me, and James is about 2.5 hours away from me. But we never knew each other. But me and James have a very similar background growing up. Like we both went to private school and stuff like that.
Okay, the recruiting process. How did you find Emory and Henry, or did Emory and Henry find you, and how did you make that transition to come here?
I was with an agency back home called Soccer Trials USA, and basically what they do is you turn up on the day at a various ground, and there's loads of coaches from American universities there, and if they want you, they recruit you. And the old assistant coach here, Josh Scott, he wanted me, and I guess the rest is history.
And when you were told that, when you were making your decision to come to Emory and Henry, did you know what you were getting into? Did you know the campus or anyone other than the soccer team here when you were coming in?
No, I came out on a recruiting visit last March, so I kind of knew what I was getting into on the campus. But no, I didn't know anyone else on campus, just pretty much the soccer guys.
Okay, and in recruiting those the two other guys that you mentioned, Kenrick and James, how have you felt that you guys bringing in this international form of soccer and forming these relationships with other guys on the team, how do you feel like that's kind of advanced your play on the soccer team, or do you feel that it has it all?
I just feel like we just bring with us, we bring a great amount of teamwork, we bring good banter to the team, and it just helps everyone get a lot more comfortable with each other. Like we're not a whole like freshmen like intimidated by us. It's all like one great big happy family pretty much.
Okay, and on the soccer team, I know the women do something called team dates and things like that. And I know I've heard that Coach Kish and Coach Baker kind of have the same coaching style. Is there anything that Coach Kish does to develop you guys as a team and have that team bond?
I mean, for one example, we had a couple of guys sleeping last week when we had a morning practice. So Coach sent us from the field all the way back to Marwa to go wake them up. I mean, you think this could be like a punishment, but I looked at it as like a team bonding exercise, because the entire team is running through campus back to Marwa, and then we all run back as a team back to the field, and then we had practice. So I look at it like that. But I mean, out of off the field, it's kind of like, I mean, I hang out with them all the time anyway, so we don't have any like specific bonding sessions.
Yeah. And as far as Coach Kish coming in, he's a new coach and has brought in a new assistant coach. How has the transition been for the team, for you as an individual player? What has Coach Kish brought to this team, and do you expect it to develop?
He's just brought a lot of order, really. Like we get punished if we're late. Like my example, the guys missing practice. That practice we did 50 minutes of sprints, which was basically what our practice consisted of. And he just is focused on the process of just achieving our goals that we set at the start of the year. And he has a 24-hour rule. So like the game on Saturday, we lost 3-0. 24 hours later, completely forget about it. On to the next day of practice and just take every day as it comes.
Awesome. Now, you as an individual, you've came here to America, and to study here. What are you studying as a student here?
Business management. That's my degree. Yeah.
And what do you expect to do with that? Are you going to stay in America, or do you plan to go back to England? How do you plan to use that degree?
I'd like to stay. I'd like to stay in America because I'm trying to do a bit of marketing as well, and I figure with my voice it would be a bit beneficial to stay over here because I might be able to sell a few more things.
Are there any processes that you have to go through? Do you have to have a visa or anything like that to stay here?
Well, I've got my student visa, which is a 4-year visa, and then after that I can get 1 year added on if I get into employment straight away. But then after that, I have to apply for another 2 years of employment visa, I think. Then after that, I guess I have to apply for a green card.
And is that a constant process that you go through? Is that a difficult transition? I know that security's kind of been locked down a little more in the past few years. Was that something that was difficult for you to come through? And I mean, is that something that you'll have to continue doing throughout your lifetime?
I mean, I've got my student visa now, so I'm set for the next 4 years. But then when that runs out, I'll have to go through another visa process, go to the embassy and try and get another visa.
Awesome. So when you go back, how often do you go back to England?
I go back Christmas and summer holidays.
And bringing back American culture, is there anything that your friends are interested in, or that you feel like that the culture is so different, or anything that you take back to England?
I pick up a few words, like back home we say petrol stations instead of gas stations. So I used to keep on saying it when I was back home over the summer. My friends would give me a bit of grief and a bit of banter for that, just for picking up a few Americanisms. But I don't think I've changed as that much. But I mean, all the lads back home are asking like what's it like, etc., like football, what the girls like, all that kind of stuff.
And on breaks that you can't go home, or you may not have enough time to go home, what do you do? Are there students that step in and you go home with them, or do you stay on campus?
Well, fall break we got to stay on campus anyway because we got games. But Thanksgiving I'm going down to Tampa with Seth and Connor, 2 of the guys on the team, and staying with them for Thanksgiving. And then I guess spring break, well, we haven't planned that yet, but I think we're trying to go to Panama.
Awesome. So are there any traditions that you found here in soccer or at Emory and Henry that you've enjoyed or have been your favorite thing since coming here?
Playing music in the warm-up at the start of the game, we never do that back home. I really enjoy that. And I just like, that's the thing I really enjoy. And you take your own jersey out there and you have to kind of get changed on the side of the field, so you're never distracted, because back home usually you go out and warm up and then you come back in and get changed into your match gear. And like you go back into the locker room, and then some people can act up in the locker room, and it can kind of distract people, but helps you stay focused on the game.
Well, perfect. Thank you for being on the set, Seb,
No
and
worries.
we wish you good luck in all of your soccer and travel and your endeavors that you'll have over the course of the year.
Thank you very much.
And this has been Olivia Bailey with your sports interview. Now we'll send it to Cole Conley for the sports update.